Good afternoon, boys and girls. We're on lesson 37, drawing pictures of fractions. So let's head to our objectives for today. So basically, today, all you have to learn is how to draw a picture to represent a fraction. Pretty basic lesson today. We've already kind of been doing this, so hopefully it'll be a little bit of a review today. Um, so, the math joke, hopefully you get this. Fact, do you know that 3 out of 2 people have trouble with fractions? I hope you get that one. Anyways, there is no vocab today, so go ahead and write down no vocab in the vocabulary spot. But our new concept for today is that a picture can help us understand the meaning of a fraction. All right, so let's look at these 3 squares. Draw 3 squares and shade one half of each square in a different way. So if we draw these squares and we cut them in half this way and half this way and half this way, um, the denominator of one half tells us to cut each square into 2 equal parts, and the numerator of the fraction tells us to shade one of those parts. So the denominator, which is 2, says, okay, we got to cut the square into 2 equal parts, and then the numerator, the top number, says how much you need to shade. Okay, and this is 3 ways we can show one half. When drawing pictures of fractions, we must always be careful to divide the pictures into equal parts. I didn't put it in here, but if you were to draw a square and then drew a line right here on this side, for example, that wouldn't be equal halves, all right? It wouldn't be half. It would be probably like 1/4 because you're only cutting off 1/4 piece. You have to, if it's asking for equal parts, whenever you're doing fraction, must be shaded into, or must be cut into equal parts. All right. All right. Example number 2. Draw a rectangle and shade 1/3 of it. After we draw a rectangle, we must divide it into 3 equal parts. If we begin by dividing it in half, we will not be able to divide it into 3 equal parts. So we can't divide it in half first and then expect to be able to divide this into 3 equal parts. So you got to plan ahead. To form 3 parts, we have to draw 2 equally spaced segments. Here are 2 different ways to show 1/3 of a rectangle. All right, so you could either cut it from this way horizontally, vertically, or horizontally this way. All right, example number 3. A circular courtyard is made of white stone and blue stone. If half of the courtyard is made into a blue stone, which diagram could not represent the courtyard? All right, so we're looking for one that doesn't represent half of the circle. Okay, so we're dividing into circles, even though it says half right here, and technically half you're supposed to cut into 2 pieces, but they already have the pieces laid out for you. So you want to see, all right, which one of these circles doesn't fill in a whole half of the circle? All right. If you look at this part, a letter A, you can see that 2/4 are shaded, right? 2/4 is also known as 1/2. If you look at letter B, well, let's skip letter B for the moment and let's go to letter C. Obviously, this is half of this is shaded, okay? And then in letter D, 4 parts out of 8 parts are shaded. So letter B is our only choice because 2 out of the 8 parts are shaded. In order for this to be half, it would be 4 parts needed to be shaded. So we see that the circular courtyard is divided into 8 equal parts. Since 4 is half of 8 and 4 parts are made of blue stone, then half of the courtyard is blue stones. Like I said, the blue parts, there needs to be 4 of them shaded because there's 8 pieces altogether. All right. So for your lesson practice, you're going to draw a circle and shade 1/4 of it. Okay. I would draw a circle and then cut into 4 pieces and shade 1/4 of it. Draw a rectangle and shade 2/3 of it. Remember, plan ahead. Don't cut the rectangle in half. You're going to want to draw the rectangle first and then equally divide it into three parts by drawing two lines on the rectangle and then shading two parts of it. And then letter C, you're going to do the shaded portion of this square represents 3/4 of a fraction. Show another way to shade 3/4 of the square. So you're going to draw a square and then you are going to show 3/4 shaded. All right, however that looks for you. Don't don't do the diagonal lines like this is. All right, and then in letter D, you're going to shade the portion of the circle that represents 1/3 of a fraction. Draw a circle and shade 2/3 of it. All right, the shaded. So this circle represents 1/3. Draw the same circle with the same cuts and show us what 2/3 looks like. All right, that's it for tonight. It's a pretty easy lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us in the morning. All right, have a blessed night.